Hi, welcome to the video. So in this, I'm going to share with you the suspicious email I received 1 month ago. Now, some of you may remember I did a community tab briefly talking about it. The question was though, when was the appropriate time to upload it and explain? Well, now I'd say is the time, because previously had all kinds of videos to juggle about and upload. They're out the way. Now it's time to get down to the email. I'm going to read it out to you now and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so this was the email I received on the 16th of January at 10:47. The sender was called Dip Rock. Now this email is very long, so it will take me some time to read out. So Dip Rock started the email off by saying, "Andrew, I find you most troubling. I hadn't been to your channel in a while, assuming you'd actually do something with the information I sent you. Instead, you make a dramatic 'someone wants to talk to me' video. Seriously? I'm watching your last few videos now. How about listening to an actual medicine person, Shaman, and not some new age shop girl? Atari is wrong. That is not a crystal skull, and they're not used for protection. That was the most garbled nonsense from a so-called expert I've ever seen. I stared at those photos until nearly blind. Not anything. Imagine having arguments and endless drama over nothing. This is annoying. These skulls are not used in the manner Atari claimed. First, they can be expensive and most people buy them for the properties of the stone. However, there are some people who actually believe aliens talk to them through crystal skulls. Enlighten yourself and just Google crystal skulls. There's entire cults built around a few fake ancient skulls, even to the point of having meetings where people gather to hear the thing talk in their heads. They often buy replicas and use them in meditations. Some people use them as a memento mori. Now, if we just scroll down a bit more, he then goes on to say, "This isn't an opinion, this is a fact. That is just some mineral deposit. And if you've watched any mine cave videos, you'd know there are often deposits of purple, yellow, blue, green, pink, white. That is not unusual to see in bruised, aka mined, chopped at stone. Just depends on the mineral content. Granite puts out white, pink and yellow as an example. Imagine anyone thinking dropping a crystal skull in a cave is any protection right, or that any practitioner of the dark arts would need to travel all that way to do some obscure, nothing I've ever heard of. I was trained in the dark arts, so I'd know them when I saw them. Ritual. No sign of any candles, which would be a centerpiece of any such rituals. No bundles, no nothing. If someone had done something in that cave, there'd be melted wax everywhere, and no one would find that mine shaft to be a place for any ritual, for anything. Again, there are two completely different things happening here, and you're trying to cram them all into this one box and force them to fit. There was an open portal out there. As you clearly know nothing about portals and the associated infrasound, frequency, energy, let me enlighten you. The portal did not have to be in a cave. It was nearby, not in the cave, and it was propped open energetically. That's why, again I explain, people got sick out there in the same exact area. No one has gotten sick out there since, have they? No, they have not. What does that tell you? Watch this guy. He caught a finny type portal open right in the middle of the trail. A machine, he doesn't know what they are, calls them tall whites, opened that doorway from his side and was coming through. This is how people disappear all the time. Have you seen Missing 411? Do your homework before going all military and aliens on this stuff. Now, there is a link, but I'm not going to click on it because it's irrelevant for this video. If you want to check it out yourself, I might be able to provide it in the description of this video, okay? And I don't want to get done for copyright. So Dip Rock then goes on to say, this is a different type of opening than what Kenny ran into. This does not involve the military or aliens or any other stupid conspiracy stuff, except for the fact that the US government and others are well aware of these places and cannot operate them. That's a good thing. They have also classified 4 species of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and there is another humanoid most often called the hairy giant. What is different than Bigfoot? And then he's got some more links and videos to stuff. Bigfoot classification, Dr. Miller's classifications first person. And also, these people are having run-ins with Bigfoot, thousands of people now, okay? Are they all insane? Wonder what your local Bigfoot is called, because there is one. And another link. Then he says, the beautiful hairy giants are something altogether different. While Bigfoot has a nature and some to us paranormal abilities, they're not paranormal. They can just do things with frequency and infrasound. Most can mind speak, cloak themselves like the non-magical chameleon, and open finnies and pass through just like the Maja gene. Okay. Batman is real, and it appears there's a leak up in the Great Lakes area figures. Some other kind of link there. In May 2021 and then July 2021. Mothman. I don't know if that's got anything to do with Really Robin. And then next. I don't know what your point is in continuing the bullshit at the M Cave. Someone did go back out there, and I'm guessing as to who, at least they didn't film it, and I bet they didn't get sick, and they found nothing. That's why that rock is displaced. Kenny associated the sick feeling with the cave he saw, and who knows, maybe the military thought it was the cave and sealed it up thinking that would do it. But clearly it didn't, because Sean got sick out there. It wasn't in the cave. And then he says, whether or not Kenny found a mysterious cave is never going to be solved. That door is closed. There being a cave or not isn't going to change and thing. It's close over. Keep an eye. Does anyone else get sick out there? I've been doing this work for years. All around the world, the stuff I've seen would explode your brain. There is something much bigger, far more ancient than you can comprehend. There is no way you're anywhere near ready to hear any of this stuff. Imagine getting all twisted up about some mine mineral deposits and creating 3 videos about the argument. Then he says, there are many different kinds of portals, interdimensional, parallel, point-to-point travel, and we can see those all around the world. One of the most famous is Amara, Maru in Peru. Those can be operated by the correct DNA, the correct frequency, and actually knowing where that particular door opens on the other end in order to visualize it. You missed so many ancient things in your analysis that it's mind-blowing. However, your frame by frames caught my attention, so thanks. When I heard Kenny describes the sick and Sean the same, I knew that it was immediately. The energy around those things is insane, and there's been times I couldn't stand while fixing them and was having lots of shamanic vomit. It was because of the sick that I was looking for something completely different in your videos to see if my suspicion were right, and I was going to have to deal with it once I was sure where it was. And there it was, the evidence that indeed the ancients had been there. And I don't mean Native Americans. They're the new kids on the block, literally. The language in the symbols is known, and it's ancient and not Hebrew. How is it possible you completely missed the megalithic balanced rock? Your face is too close to the mirror. If I told you what language that is, your brain would explode. It seems poor trolling Batman has already done your head in. I assume he's talking about Robin. So he quotes on that picture that was done about the symbol. And then he says, why don't you concentrate on the real mystery? Here is that really in the so-called break-in video. Why haven't you exposed that there is nothing in Kenny's hand when he leaves the shop? Nothing, and you know it. Surely you can analyse. Why would the family claim there was a break-in and something was stolen that wasn't? Why would some of the family claim it was Kenny and others say it wasn't? What link does all this have back to the suicide of Kenny's father? And why did the shop owners not mention that video until CNN? What role do the local cops play? Susan is adamant Kenny is alive and is not in any trouble. Of course he's not. It's not Kenny's fault. The internet went nuts over his hiking video and made a mystery of it. But is Kenny alive? If he isn't, what motive would the local cops have for saying he is? I wonder what Kenny knew about his father's suicide. What did the other guy mean by Veach crime family? And why is Susan so damned het up and involved? We just scroll down a bit. And then he says, there's a bigger story here. I called your attention to it because you're in the UK, not down the street like the dramatic blowhard is. Now put on your big boy pants and make a video asking, do you see anything in this guy's hand? If he didn't steal an iPad, what did he break in for? There should be a police report for the break-in. Those aren't hard to dig up, you know. They're called blotters and are coordinated by date for each county. You could even raise the "are those glasses" question because a case could be made. The guy was wearing gold round wire glasses, maybe, but that is not Kenny. It just isn't. Completely different energy. So does someone want it to seem like Kenny is alive? Let's go down a bit more. There's a lot you could do with this without having any trouble at all. And stop all the drama about threats. No one is flying to the UK to kill you. And no one is flying to Hawaii to kill Atari. Her videos should be taken down. How utterly insane to claim Kenny is Bernard. That's the last person anyone should be listening to regarding anything spiritual. I can look instantly and tell you who is and who is not the same person. I've done crime work before, successfully, not anymore though. For such a wise person, her energy analysis skills are non-existent. Go down a bit more. You live in one of the most magical, mystical countries on earth. You sure about that? And you could be making videos on local mysteries, histories and growing your channel instead of getting into girl fights with stupid people. Sorry, not usually. So blunt, but my patience is at an end. You continue to blather on about something no one is ever going to find, or you could be introducing your audience to real mystical things right in your own backyard. Talks about Christopher Kolb. Note the spelling mistakes in your comments. Hello. Bet this troll cannot wait for you to make a video about him. Lol. Nelia Love was also a dude. Yeah. If you shared my last email with Atari, well, that was stupid. Try to be wise and keep this one to yourself. Do yourself a favour. Research the amazing things in your country that people all over the world are fascinated by. By the way, the hairy giant green man. Take the train to Edinburgh and go to Roslyn. You're sitting right smack in the middle of a treasure trove of interesting things and you're making videos about comments people make on videos. The black guy did indeed see Batman. He wasn't lying. Another of my stupid shaman tricks. There are Batman glyphs out there and that arsehole has been coming and going for centuries, trolling people and hunting where they shouldn't. Now come on, you have far more to give to the channel than this. Dip rock. And that was the end of the email. So there is so much to take in from that email. I don't know if you should play the video back and take it in yourself. For me, I'm just going to give a brief opinion and maybe we can follow this up in a part 2, part 3, part 4 video because, you know, it's a lot going on, okay? But one thing to make note of, first of all, this individual, the overall theme, tone of their voice, well, in text and what they say, it's of a discouraging theme, trying to stop me from what I'm doing, that there is better stuff around me. Well, just like people, there is nothing around me. I do this because I feel I can do a fair job at it in terms of trying to solve and question stuff, that role. Just like how people do the hikes and come across things, that's what they're good at. I do my thing, they do theirs. And as linking back to this Dip Rock character, you know, having a go at me saying all the stuff I'm making up about things, how stupid it is and ridiculous it is to believe. And yet that's the person talking about portals and other dimensions and Bigfoot. Come on, if you're going to allow one thing, you're going to say that's true, then you might as well say this is true as well, because, you know, you only start allowing one thing, you become such a hypocrite. Come on, let's be realistic, you know. This dip rock individual has said a discouraging theme, trying to push me away from the mystery. Why? What's the big deal? And this whole, I told you this before, I gave you material, why did you share it with Atari? What the fuck you on about? This is the first email I received from Dip Rock. Didn't receive any emails beforehand, nothing whatsoever. No material, no message, no comment, nothing at all. So how would I know what's going on? How would I share stuff with people if it's not even in my hands or on the screen? First email I ever received from Dip Rock, and he's already having a go at me for no reason. So that's a good start, isn't it? Now I could show images on screen of the email, look at the words and the lines, but can I really be arsed at the moment? No, I can't be bothered. I'm not in the mood to, okay? But as I said, we can do a part 2, a part 3 at some point. The only thing I will say is, taking all that in mind, this person seems to know Nelia, talks about Atari, talks about this and that, and you think, well, could it be someone who's currently around now within the community with a different username? Or is it someone from the past? Or is it someone much closer, such as one of the family members? Such as Kenny's brother, Ray Veach. Is this Ray Veach? Due to the tone of his voice, him acting as the expert, talking about spirituality, enlightenment, all that kind of stuff going on, as well as the shaman and shamanic stuff. How is there a link? Well, I don't know if you remember, but that video I did previously on brief research into Ray Veach, I came up with all kinds of links with the words such as that. And even though back then some people were like, oh, what's the point of this? This doesn't do anything. Well, shut the fuck up, calm down, shush, hush, simmer, whatever. Put tape around your mouth. I don't care. If we look at some links and we look at some words, there's some overlapping words that do tie in with the email, the supposed associate that reached out to me before the email, and even the Reiki Healing Store website. I'll share it with you now. So we are currently on Enchanted Forest Reiki Healing Center, the website. And if we scroll down, and we click on that tab, and we click on practitioners, people that work at the store, this is what we are greeted with. Debbie Veach, who owns and runs the store. Someone called Rev. Now this person did show up in the CCTV news video breaking one. Keep on going down. And then look who shows up. Ray Veach. Because Ray Veach also does some kind of class there within the store. And we just click on him briefly. There we go. That's Ray Veach, the brother of Kenny Veach. Shamanic and energetic practitioner. That's what he teaches at the store. Shamanic. You see the keyword already? Just like how the email said you should listen to a shaman like me. Just a brief explanation of Ray. Involved in martial arts styles such as Tai Chi Chuan, Pakwa, Singi, Qigong. I'm not going to try reading that because it's a disaster. Ray's experience with shamanism began as a child, largely to his partial Native American heritage, inspired by grandmother. Okay. Over the course of Ray's life, he has studied courses that have included shamanic journeying, healing, creativity, and psychopomp work. A few more keywords showing up, the journeying one and the healing. You remember that journeying, mystical, walking through the mist, audio recording thing? You remember on YouTube? And even on that other website, and it was even advertised on his Facebook profile. You remember that video of that all? And then we go down, he says the chakra system. It says Ray believes deeply in the powers of energetic healing techniques as they allowed him to recover from life-altering injuries, not the least of which was a broken neck received in an auto accident. Yeah, and then it says visit the website. Healing path is Ray's ultimate desire. Now if we click We are now on the website. For some of you, you may remember this as I did cover it in that last video I did on the first video on Ray. Mist walking, journeying in the mist. Welcome to my shamanic and energy healing home. So it all ties in with one another. No upcoming events at the moment. Yeah, that's his audio and stuff. Yeah, all the shamanism, practices, healing, energy, and more. And he's even linked the contact thing with Enchanted Forest Reiki Healing Centre because that's where he works and where he does his practices and classes to teach people and stuff. Also on Google, there is even a YouTube video by Superbloom Media posted 28th of June 2020 of Shamanic Healing by Ray Veach at the Enchanted Forest, as you can see there. I'll provide the link below so you can watch it yourself. Now, just to cut in quickly, I did share it to Susan just to see what her perspective on the matter was, and this is what she had to say. After watching it a few times, Susan said, "In my opinion, that is how Ray would talk, like he is the smartest man on earth, and he actually berates you. Seen him do this many times." Susan also said, "Yep, Ray thinks he's a shaman." And then I just said, "I see." Because, you know, the first thing I picked up on when I saw that email was shaman, and it reminded me of all the previous links and websites which mentioned the same exact thing and people mentioning the word shaman, and the shaman wants to talk to you. So even Susan agrees immediately. And lastly, Susan says he is wrong about one thing. Kenny does pick up the iPad before he heads out the window. He's trying to discourage people from looking for Kenny. Well, that's another key word. Discouraging. That's the same exact word I used in this video as well. The first word that came to my mind when I read the email out for the very first time back in January. So that's interesting how there are similarities there. And as we saw in the CCTV footage, 1 minute there's an iPad, next minute there isn't. So it's quite clear, you know, even if people were a bit, you know, still unsure about the CCTV footage, or some people think it isn't him, one thing you can agree on is, well, 1 minute the iPad's there and then it's been taken away. You know, it's not, where else is it going to get? It's not just randomly disappear, is it? So some of you may be asking, how, why, where, when, who is this Dip Rock, why now, etc. Well, to be honest, supposedly it all started on GLP, Godlike Productions. It's like one of those forums, platform websites where people share all kinds of ideas, some wild and crazy, others more genuine. It's really a free-for-all, freedom of speech type of thing. That's why it's kind of popular. So yeah, that's where Dip Rock originated from. And as he said in the email, he's been watching my videos for a bit, or like in the past at least. So we don't know if he did leave any comments on YouTube. It might be one of the dodgy comments we came across over time. You never know. The person is anonymous, so they are hiding their identity, which is very typical, but there you go. And they just wanted to reach out to me. I think there's like a picture on screen or something where it's like, oh, I've been trying to get a hold of Raf for so long now. I don't know his email, or I don't know certain things. So I don't want to go on YouTube and leave a comment there because it's too public. I need to try and contact him because I've got groundbreaking information that will blow his mind and stuff, and he needs to hear about it and it'll open his eyes up and stuff. That's basically what he was getting at. Jeff Clark alerted me and told me, because Jeff Clark's on GLP, and came across the thread on one of them and responded. So yeah, that's how that happened. And really, nothing happened after that. It was dead, it was quiet, because I'm like, who the hell's this person? GLP? This person? No, something's dodgy, don't trust him, don't trust this, don't trust that. And then eventually, out of nowhere on Instagram, some supposed representative with a different username, I think called Miles Teg or something, left me a comment, a message in the DMs and said, "Hello, I don't know you, but I know someone and I'm here to pass on a message to you. An old shaman would like to have words with you and share stuff with you, information you may have never heard of before, and it's important that you, you know, contact him. Here's the email, etc., etc., Dip Rock." So basically, this person was supposedly acting as a representative of Dip Rock, whether it was Dip Rock himself talking in third person, depending on what type of ego one has, or maybe it was just a friend of a friend or a contact that reached out to do the dirty work for him or for her. You don't know who it could be. So after that, I decided just to send an email to them. No response whatsoever. That's why I said to you in that community tab, looks like nothing is happening. Looks like it was a waste of time. You fast forward a few months onwards and then out of nowhere, the person's like, oh my God, why did you talk about me? Why did you pass on that email that I already sent to you? And I'm like, nope, you've not sent shit to me, so I don't know what the hell you're on about. You know what I'm saying? That's basically how it followed and how the pattern emerged. I think what I'll say is, there's a lot to take in, okay? I'll probably do another video, maybe look at certain pieces of information and stuff and give my opinion properly and response to it. But at this moment in time, it's like, well, here we go, yet another thing going on, like I was seeing with previous stuff, current stuff, all kinds of things. One thing for certain, due to the length of the email, they put a bit of time in, you know, to type it up and stuff. They supposedly have a form of knowledge of a range of stuff. Okay, fine. But as I said, certain keywords do seem to tie in with one another on multiple different accounts, just like shamanic, shamanism, healing, and all that. We've seen it on Enchanted Forest website, the email shaman, Miles text DM saying shaman. It's all there. It all, you know, crosses over with one another. So yeah. Is there anything else to talk about? Well, there's no cryptic messages, there's no playing about. It's basically direct, it's personal, and it's simply saying, what you're talking about, Andrew, is wrong, it's this and it's that, not that. And basically, you're better off going off and covering other mysteries and stuff around. Well, there really isn't. I mean, supposedly there's a missing person and trying to find a body within this area or a bit further out, but there's no news on it. The police have cornered off, you know, the area, and it's like, well, what can you do? Typical police, typical country like this, you know, restricts, you can't do that much. So, and there's no news on it, so I don't know what, well, I don't know, didn't reveal anything. You look in the news, nothing, for call, absolutely nothing. So, there you go. Mysteries, oh yeah, so much to cover, not. Anyway, being a little degenerate, you know, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. Well, actually I did, because whether it's something or nothing, I did cover that weird, mysterious mine. Remember the abandoned mine with the weird, ghostly voice captured on caught on camera? Does that not count? Is that not a mystical, enchanted forest? Yeah, it kind of is. Well, there you go. So, yeah, I know with stuff such as the odd UFO video, demonic experience and encounter, and I can even do the odd paranormal one down the line. So there you go, it's all fine, it's all under control. But it looks like Dip Rock isn't too amused. But what it does follow, that keyword what he said in the video, I've had enough of this, I'm frustrated by the way it's gone. He supposedly, or they know better, they know what's up, what's going on. So then, take the floor, step up, pass the information on, explain it, clarify it, do whatever. It's basically like what I said in that previous YouTube video, what I did, where I was saying how, you know, you try your best, you do what you can to solve the mystery. If you don't really make any progress, you don't really get anywhere, it might cause an indirect trigger within someone that knows something to step up and come in and reveal themselves. And partially that's what's happened here. Well, there you go. It played out how it did. Who is who? What are they? Where are they from? It don't really matter at the end of the day because there's so many dodgy, you know, odd characters about. It's like, who knows? But you can tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I know there'll be some people that will be bitching and whining, tough shit. And then there'll be other people completely confused, understandable. And then there'll be some that'll be, you know, on the fence thinking, yeah, this could be a bit dodgy or this could be a bit this. Oh, we've seen it before. Which is understandable as well. Certain levels, different mindsets, fine. But as said, I might cover another video at some point if necessary, but I wanted to get this done now because, you know, before anything else gets cluttered, so don't keep pushing it back and pushing it back. It needs to be somewhat relevant. And although it's a month late, you know, other important videos had to be done. Did they not? Every single day from January. Every single day nearly uploading the video. So it's not like there was room to slot that in. If you slot too many videos in a short space of time, what ends up happening is everyone will watch the latest video, but they won't refer back to the previous one because they assume that they've already watched it because it's before the new one, so they don't click on it. It can happen. So you got to do it accordingly and plan it properly, and then it works out, okay? Is there anything else to really talk about? Not really in this video, just wanted to share that email. Hopefully the text was readable and the screen size was all fine. As said, I only just found out in this video that you could adjust the font. You know, I wanted to rotate the screen. If I did it on PC, it would have been so zoomed out, so small the text and blurry. So hopefully you could read it. If not, you could at least hear it when I was reading it out, okay? As said, those links I'll try and provide in the description of this video, okay? So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.